Palmerston Island is somewhat isolated, as are many of the Cook Islands. It's located 800 miles west of Tahiti and 650 miles east of Tonga. The capital of the Cook Islands, Rarotonga, lies 270 miles to the southeast of Palmerston. The only inhabited island on the atoll measures about 400 metres by 400 metres, and the highest point is around 3 metres above sea level. We arrived at Palmerston Island on Monkey Fest on the 23rd of August after a swift passage from our pier, covering the 550 miles in 4 days. The anchorage at Palmerston is a roadset anchorage, and so it's not protected from all directions. In case the weather changed and we were forced to leave, we made arrangements to conduct our Eyeglass Assist session the following day. The only way to and from the island is via the trade boat that comes every few months. Freight is extremely expensive, and with very limited income the residents live very simple lives. One yacht that came from Tudor-Stack while we were there brought 11 boxes, which we were told would have cost $500 in freight on the trade ship. The day after our arrival we packed up our bags of glasses and testing gear and headed into the island. The lagoon does not have a pass suitable for large boats, and hosting families provide moorings outside the reef, and a family member will come and pick up people from their yachts in their own boat and take them to the island. This means that access to the island is controlled and limited to the hours of daylight, as it's too dangerous at night. The main pass is shallow with strong currents, and it's good to have a person with local knowledge in charge. Their only export is reef fish fillets, which they freeze and ship on the trade boat for sale in Rarotonga. We were told that another trade boat had been purchased by the Cook Islands government after 5 years of planning, but it was wrecked the previous January on its second voyage when a rope was caught in its propeller and it was washed up on the reef at Nassau, 500 miles to the north. There are only 51 residents on the island, and all are either descendants of or are married to a descendant of William Masters, an Englishman who arrived here in 1866. This is the main street of Palmerston. No cars on the island, but a tractor and a few old motor scooters and push bikes. William Masters' original house is still standing and was built from the timbers of a ship that was wrecked on the reef. He ended up with 3 Polynesian wives, and the rest is history. Considering the small population, they are quite well looked after by the government. They have access to telephones, internet, and have a solar power plant, but they do have to pay for the power they use. They also have a small but well-equipped health clinic that is staffed by a registered nurse. We set up our supplies and testing gear at the very small clinic and were open for business for the day. Everyone on the island came in for sunglasses, as well as 22 people for spectacles. About 2/3 were for readers and 1/3 for distance glasses. As with many of the isolated communities in the eastern and central Pacific, the people by comparison with, for example, the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea are much better off, but it is the degree of isolation that is a major factor for life here. If someone needs glasses, then they must go to Rarotonga on the trade boat and have their eyes checked. Then they can purchase the glasses from somewhere overseas, such as New Zealand or Australia, and have them shipped to Palmerston again on the trade boat. But this seldom happens, as the cost to the people on their meagre income is prohibitive. Simple readers are available in pharmacies and other shops at a fraction of the cost, but often people simply just don't know what they need to correct their vision. The bottom line is that many people just go without. This young lady is in her early 20s. She's short-sighted, but had never owned a pair of glasses. Francis fitted her with the correct lenses, and she turned around and looked outside and said with a huge smile on her face, "Look at the leaves on the trees. It is so beautiful." She was also given a pair of fit-over sunglasses. The Mayor of Palmerston Island, Goodley Masters, asked if he could express his gratitude to us for running our program on his island.
My name is Hi-Fi Masters, and they call me also Goodley Masters. I am the Mayor for Palmerston Island, and I would like to give thanks to the service that Paul and Francis have brought us, and it's really helped the people of Palmerston Island, and we all say thank you very much for that great help that you have given us. Thank you.
At the end of the day, we packed up our gear and headed back out to Monkey Fest. The weather was forecast to deteriorate, and it was either stay put for another week or leave the following day. As we had been making arrangements to run our program again in Niue, our next stop, and we were already running behind schedule, we decided to again head out to sea.